And this is Jacqueline from She Rises Studios, and welcome to Light the Torch ceremony, where we shine a spotlight on stories that move hearts and awaken strength. And today, we honor She Endures Perseverance Through Pain. This deeply moving anthology brings together the voices of courageous women who have walked through fire, facing illness, grief, abuse, heartbreak, personal struggles, but emerge not only standing but shining. She Endures is a tribute to the human spirit, to the power of healing, and to the strength found in sisterhood and story. And today we are being joined by the two wonderful women that's part of this anthology, Andrea and Rebecca. Welcome, ladies. Congratulations on She Endures.
Hey, thank you so much. Welcome.
Well, we are very much excited about this because this particular book, I'm sure, is already touching lives. How does it feel to finally see this message of resilience and hope touch so many lives out there?
It is great to see everybody just get their hands on this book. As I was going through the book, I just looked at all of the stories and it's like, oh, wow, I'm so happy to be in this amazing group of women who is so bold to share their stories because it's not easy to share stories like these. And so I find myself in awe of just being with these ladies who just willingly share something that is so impactful that can help so many women just like us.
I think it takes a lot
Awesome.
of courage
Yes.
to step outside of your comfort zone and release what's been bottled for years. But I think what's the even more powerful part is trying to use our voices to help those who really are struggling in their journey right now, who have not reached the point that many of us in the book have. And we are here to literally light the torch for their path through healing and to thrive eventually.
That's awesome. And that's true. You know, it's not easy sharing your personal struggles and have everybody read about it. But you ladies took the courage and took the initiative and joined this anthology. Why do you think it's important for us to create a space for women, especially, to be able to share their stories of perseverance and pain?
I think that society is quick to judge. We've created a world where dogs are not allowed to bark. They
Mm,
can't roam free. Children cannot cry in public. Women, are made to meet societal standards and norms that were created not by ourselves. And there really isn't a safe space for women to not just heal, but to become the true us that we were meant to be. And even from birth, we carry trauma from our mothers, from our fathers. Through childhood, we were raised with kitchen sets and, baby dolls with diapers. And the social construct for a woman is very limiting. It's very um, I would say, not feminine for
mm,
us to grow and become who we should be. And this really is a safe space for us, whether it's a childhood trauma, whether it's a disease, or whether it's something that we witness in our adult lives. We all need that space to be able to keep healing, to be able to get past what we bury inside before it actually becomes disease or cancer. And that's why I think this book is so powerful, and along with so many other books that the women have come out to use their voices.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Rebecca. That is so true. One of the things to add to it is the fact that a lot of times women go through a whole lot in their lives, whether it's from a kid growing up into being a teenager. We become teenagers and we don't know what we want, and so when we get to that age, there is so much that has happened to us. And I would just say, just let me just say me. so much have happened to me from I was a teenage girl until the age of, I don't want to say what that is, but until the age where I am today, right? And so much has happened from then to now. And here's, as I went through this, one of the things I realized was that you don't want to share your story simply because you are so embarrassed of that story of who you were, right?
Mm.
As you were trying to figure out, well, who am I? What am I going to be? And we made choices back then that we look back now, we regret those choices, but we don't want anybody else to know about them. So we hide it under a bushel, I say. So this book is just that space where we get to share what it is that has made us who we are today, right? Even though we made
Right.
bad choices, those choices really has matured us and make us who we are today. And so
Right.
being able to share our stories, hopefully the goal would be that women out there can read our stories and say, you know what? I've experienced similar things and I am no longer ashamed of those things. But those things is what have made me who I am today. And now I can walk out and help someone else go through the pain and heal through the process as well. So
There
that's
is really
mhm.
now there really is a different empowerment when we have the freedom to share our story and not be embarrassed with it, right? And to see that there's power with what we've gone through and what we now know. How writing this particular chapter did it help you go through that healing process? Did reading other women's stories helped you in a way, understand other situations, other experiences that you've had?
I would say yes. This, I think, is my fourth published one, right?
Mm-hmm.
With She Rise Studio. And it's almost like every time I write a chapter and I see the other women's stories, it empowers me really because it I can't explain it so much, um, but it makes me see things from a different perspective. When you see
Mm,
other people's stories, you not only heal yourself, but then you also realize, wait a minute, this person might have been acting a certain way because of certain things. We don't really
right.
look at it like that. We just say, well, why is this person the way that they are? We don't consider that, you know what, that person could have been going through something. And when you go through this book and you read these stories, you're like, wow, this must have been a healing for them as well
Mm-hmm.
as they write these, because this is not an easy task. Writing your story is not an easy task. And if you like to cry like me, you must have been crying as you wrote that chapter, okay? And so it's just, to me, it's amazing. It's just amazing to watch what we've put together as authors to help other women to overcome their challenges as well.
Was it a
You
little
know,
scary being vulnerable and telling your story?
Yes, definitely. Because you're thinking, okay, I don't think people want to know that part of me. And then you realize maybe the part that you're saying you don't think they should know is actually the part that they really should know, because that's the part that is going to make the best and the biggest impact on someone.
I think vulnerability is a choice that a lot of us made when we wrote our chapter or decided to tell our story,
Hmm.
um, because we have been hidden by shame or judge or fear of judgment for way too long.
Hmm.
And the problem with living a lie and not being honestly or authentically you is technically living a sort of lie. And the problem with living a lie is that it just gets buried deeper and deeper. And that's why women, we are the ones who have the highest rate of autoimmune diseases, of cancers, and continuously bearing this pain or this shame can be detrimental to our health or our well-being. So vulnerability does speak power, powerful messages for those who are, like I said, who are still in their journey. And it shows that there are ways to give back because, after we have healed and after we have gone through what we've been through and we're thriving, we do need as women to stand up and help someone else and give a hand. I don't believe in always just, benefiting oneself. And so I think this is a very important, very strong way to do that, to turn, pay it forward, and to help somebody else.
At writing your chapter, what message do you hope women who will get to read your story would you like for them to take away?
For the person reading my story, I suppose what I want them to know most is that even when you make choices, because I call it choices, there was a time I would say mistake, but I don't call them mistakes. I call them choices because there are sometimes we make choices that steers us in the wrong direction. And for me, I always say, and I'm going to say again, the worst choice I made was not accepting Jesus first, right? Because had I done that, that would have changed everything that I went through from then to now, right? And so I want the person to know that, first of all, we make choices. We have to make the right choices. And even if we make the wrong choices, that God is still faithful. He still turned my breaking points into building blocks for purpose. And he can do the same for anybody else because I've experienced it. And I know that they can as well, no matter what the choices were in the beginning. And it doesn't define who I am today. That was who I was. That's not who I am right now. And the same is for the ladies that is actually reading these books and taking from them those stories that impact you and can help you to heal and overcome and transform as well.
I cannot agree with Andrea more. I say this all the time. I preach this: fall in love with God first. Yes. Because unconditionally, he has loved you through all the past choices you have made, and no one else can love you more. And through that, you can learn to love yourself. Yes. And I hope by reading my chapter and Andrea's and all these other brave women in the book that people can learn to be kinder. Yes. Everyone's going through something you have no idea about, and this world lacks kindness. Yes. And I hope this is some inspiration for everybody to go out and smile at someone you would normally not smile at, or give somebody a hug you would normally not hug.
I love that. I love that. So to close us off here, for the women watching tonight or today who feel like they're in the middle of their pain, what would you say to them right now?
I would end with just the title of my chapter, which is so fitting at this point: How God Turned My Breaking Points into Building Blocks for Purpose. He is able to do that for you as well.
For me, I think it's keep going. When you're at rock bottom, there is nowhere lower to go. There's only up.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Andrea and Rebecca. She Endures is clearly, this is more than just a book. This is a lifeline. This is a mirror and a movement. So to every woman who has endured, your story matters, your healing matters, and your voice deserves to be heard. And if you haven't yet, everyone, please grab a copy of She Endures: Perseverance Through Pain, now available on Amazon. Please take a copy for yourself, share it with your girlfriend, share it with someone you feel they need a reminder that even in the darkest chapters, light still breaks through. Thanks again, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you.